Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry Teresa is not here with us today. It's just me. So, we are going to be hanging out talking about the power of your beliefs because I have had so many conversations, comments. I guess because my awareness is heightened, we've been talking about this now for several episodes, and it's just been coming up more and more in conversation. So, I've become more aware of it. Remember, a couple of episodes ago, we were talking about the reticular activating system and how once you basically tell your mind what you think is important based on what you're focusing on, more of that is going to come up into your awareness. So, something that I've been increasingly aware of and noticing is a lot of negative um, self talk and affirmation of what we don't want. So, let me back up 1 second. You cannot avoid affirmations because literally everything you say, everything you speak, everything that you believe, you are affirming. It's an affirmation of some kind, right? So, what kind of sparked this conversation with myself, basically, and with you now today, is I've been seeing a lot of comments like, and not just in my, just kind of in the interwebs in general, and people, in conversation and whatnot, people saying, um, you know, I would if I could, I will if I can. Um, I wish that this would happen for me. Um, things like that. So, first of all, you have to understand that when you're saying things like, I wish this would work out for me, or it never happens for me, or whatever you're saying, you're speaking into existence further. Okay. Everything that you say is an affirmation of some kind. You've probably heard me say before. I know I said it, I don't know how many episodes ago. Uh, we are all living one giant self fulfilling prophecy. Right. And what I mean by that is what we believe, what we speak into existence, what we focus on, what we believe to be true, what we expect to happen is exactly what we're going to get. Right. You are literally writing a self fulfilling prophecy. When you expect something to happen, that thing is going to happen. When you expect things to go wrong, they're going to go wrong. And this is one of the reasons why I hate this, age old saying, bad things happen in threes, or waiting for the other shoe to drop, or it can't always be good, and things like that. Like, yes, it can. But if you expect things to not always be able to be good, you are going to create situations where things start to fall apart every single time. Right. So, this is why I say we cannot avoid affirmations, because everything you speak is an affirmation of something, right? So when you say, I don't have time for that, you are speaking into existence not having time for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Now, I'm also talking about the way that we speak about our existence in general. Okay. So, for example, I had I did a 2-day live series called Mastering the Void. I was going to take the replays down. I've since decided to leave them up because, you know what? I think it's the lessons that I'm kind of sharing in those two lives are really valuable, because I was reflecting on and sharing, over the last 15 months that I was living in Central America, and a lot of the really stressful stuff I went through. And I think it provides kind of a ray of hope for people who are going through something stressful. I had a really good conversation with one woman who reached out to me saying that she was just having a hard time, and felt like she couldn't get things to go her way. And I said, look, watch the replays of this series, because I share in detail how I navigated one of the most difficult years of my life. So I'm going to leave the replays up. But why did I say that? Oh, I was saying I had made a post in my Facebook group about how the replays were coming down, and then somebody had commented saying, I will watch them if I can carve out enough time, or something like this. And so my retort was, look, you have to make the time. If it's important to you, you'll find the time. If you're sitting there saying, I don't, I'll find a way to make it work. Oh, here's Teresa. Look at that. We have our co-host. Let me just finish what I was saying, and then I will. I was saying we always have time for the things we prioritize. So if you're sitting there saying, well, if I can find enough time, or if I'm given a clear spot of, freedom or whatever, like, no, you need to speak into existence what you want to experience. And you need to understand that you create your own reality. So if you're saying, well, if I have time, or if this circumstance turns out the way that I want, and not just watching replays, I'm talking about in general anyway. If you're sitting there saying, if this works out this way, or if this person can cooperate, or if you are giving your power away to the circumstances, to your external, right? And something Teresa and I've been talking about for 3+ episodes now is, you create your reality. You get to decide how it goes. So if you're going to be giving your power away to who knows what, then don't expect things to change, because they can't change when you don't take ownership and responsibility for the reality that you're creating. Hi, Teresa. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I am fabulous. I figured we were having technical difficulties, so I jumped on.
I couldn't get the link to copy, because the link that you send me, I can never open it from there. So I have to copy and then paste it, but it would not copy at all. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me right now. Yeah.
It's
I got
all
some
right.
limiting beliefs to work through for sure.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. See, but you guys, this is exactly my point. This kind of sums up what I was just saying, right? Teresa could have easily just said, oh, well, I can't get the link to work, whatever, and give her power away to the circumstance that it is. And instead she says, no, I'm gonna get this stupid thing to work, because I want to be, live for episode 4. I got to be there.
Yep.
So, and like we said, at the beginning of this series, one of the things we're trying to accomplish with this series is being very open and transparent to what the process looks like in creating the reality that you want, right? And unfortunately, these are the kinds of things that can come up, which is Gay Hendricks refers to it as hitting an upper limit, right? And this is what we're talking about when we talk about having to overcome obstacles and persevere through things, like these kinds of technical issues. There's a reason this is happening, right? Like, we're being tested on, both of us. Teresa's being tested on her ability to show up and troubleshoot and make it happen, and I'm being tested on, do I go live without her? Do I just not bother? How are we gonna navigate this and make it work? And this is what it looks like to show up no matter what, persevere through it all, and prove to ourselves, the universe, God, whoever's watching, that we want to be open and honest. We want to do this series. We want to be dedicated to what we're creating.
Yeah. See, and instantly I asked, my subconscious mind, why is this happening? Why does this keep happening to me? And immediately what I was shown is a 9-to-5 job. And I have so much like anger towards it, and having to show up and being told what to do. Not that I'm even being told what to do here, you know what I'm saying? But it for me is allowing me to see what's holding me back right now. And that's what came up. All the times that I was there, I worked in the medical field, right? So and the medical field is very like about prestige. Who has the degree? Who has the most schooling, when you could be smarter than all of them there, but you're not respected because you didn't get the degree.
Right.
So right now it just brought up so many emotions for me, which is exactly what this is supposed to be doing. Right. All kinds of things ran through my head. What is Danielle going to think? How is she feeling about this? I'm late again. What's going on? How come I'm late? Boom. Then it was like your 9-to-5 job. All those feelings that you have towards the people there, telling you what to do and having to be under them and keeping you from doing what you wanted to be doing for so long. Like,
yeah.
But this is what this is about.
Yeah.
right? Because once I have this awareness of all of these things, then I can delete them and
Right.
reprogram myself. But it's to see where you're operating from in the first place. Because if we
Well,
can't
exactly.
see that, then we can't change anything.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, and we kind of talked about this last week. Well, privately, you and I talked about this last week, and just uh, this being a scheduled, regular thing. Yeah, I can see how with your subconscious would be wanting to battle that because it's a quote unquote required thing, right?
Yeah.
And
And
it's
prior to
and
this,
yeah,
prior to this, if this happened, I'd just be like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing it.
yeah,
There, like,
yeah,
nope, happen the way it is. Maybe you're going to be upset, or I have other things going on, and it's just going to be one thing after another. But you can't fucking do that. You
mhm,
got to face your shit and work through it, or else we stay
yeah,
stuck in the same place year after year after year after year. And we're not doing that anymore. Not,
exactly,
mm-mm.
exactly.
No, I
Well,
thought
and this
last
is
year was the year, but this year is the year. Last year was working out some more kinks that had to be worked out,
yeah, yeah,
but this year is like, no, there's nothing going to stop me from getting where I want to be and where I'm supposed to be. And that's how everybody else should be too.
yes,
We have to
and
want
it's
it.
yes, exactly. You have to want it, and you have to be willing to do something different. Because how many times do we say, what got you here will only get you here, and nothing changes if nothing changes? So, although this is uncomfortable for you, and well, at least for your subconscious, for your ego, doesn't want to be scheduled and required to be somewhere at a certain time, right? Now that
Right.
you're aware of that, you can see that. And I'm so glad that you brought up asking yourself, because that's what you have to do. Is you have to ask, okay, what am I being shown here? What am I supposed to learn? What is the issue here? Like, why is this
Yeah.
such a
And you know
struggle
what
for
really
me?
helped me too is the book that I'm reading, The
Yes.
Power of the Subconscious Mind. And it literally says infinite, to speak to your subconscious mind
Mhm.
as if it's real and it's alive.
Mhm.
And that's what I said. Like, it has an infinite intelligence in there that knows all things, everything. And it says to speak to it, infinite intelligence.
Yeah.
Show me exactly what needs to be done here to get me where I need to be. Show me exactly what's happening so that I can change whatever needs to be changed.
Yeah.
And it works so fast. I've never had it like show me that quickly. It was like instant, boom. Here, this is where it is. This is where it's coming from. Now change that shit. Rewire it so you can show up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. That book is I need to get that book because it is amazing. I mean, when you're talking about I mean, obviously this is our jam right now, is subconscious mind, rewiring your thought processes, blah blah blah. But this is I'm so glad that this happened, actually, because it's like this is what it looks like to work through all of the things, right?
Right.
And for both of us too, because like I said, a couple minutes in, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give it till 10 after, and then I'm just going to go live on my own, because I don't want to not, because the momentum of going live now weekly has been so good. I'm like, I'm gonna go no matter what. I feel bad too, because my husband he didn't get any sleep last night, so he's on the other side of this wall, probably wide awake now because I've woken him up. But so it would have been so easy to just not, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And everybody's home today because it's been crazy weather and not feeling well. So there's a million reasons to be like,
Yeah,
no, reschedule. Let's do
yeah,
another time. But no,
yeah.
it's not happening. Yeah.
No,
So
no,
even a
and
different, I had to pick a different room to be in today.
yeah, it's all good. It's all
But
good.
it is what it is.
But you know what? This kind of ties into to what I started talking about when I first hopped in, which is we're all writing our own self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So what we are experiencing is based on our belief systems and what we expect to happen and things like that. So, and you know what? That's what me to examine. Maybe there's a part of me subconsciously that expects there to be issues too. You know what I mean? Like this
Right.
is this is the
Right.
funny thing, and this is how, and this is I just love this stuff, because Teresa and I have been talking about how each of us are running our own reality, right? And then everybody in our reality is a character we've put there to help us experience life the way that we want, right? But what's happening here, you can see, is Teresa and I are both creating our own realities, and we're both each other's at like characters in each other's
Right.
story. It's like it makes my
Now
head
this
hurt a
this
little
is
bit.
it's actually perfect how this worked out, because this is what I wanted to talk about. You had sent me a question about somebody asking how their husband or whatever is showing up in their reality, and can they
Yeah.
change this? Do they have control over it? You know, we're talking about free will and all this stuff.
Mhm.
So this is where we have to trust the process as well.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Always.
true. Because I showed you the first time we tried to do things, we had the book club. I couldn't show up. I
Right.
couldn't. No matter everything and anything that happened in my life would take me out. I didn't have the emotional intelligence like I do now. Right. Now it's the limiting beliefs that are just killing me. But the emotional intelligence is there. And I know that I'm going to fucking show up, period. But because I have showed you in this 3D reality some other behavior on repeat, and it's your dominant thought process that creates my character
Mhm.
in your reality,
Yes.
right? So you're absolutely right. Therefore, I am showing up according somewhat to your belief system,
Right.
but also to mine. It's
Right.
it's both combined.
Isn't
You're
that
right.
so crazy? Like,
So this is where, okay, so there's a team of coaches on YouTube, right? And they manifest with you and for you. It depends what you choose.
mm,
So however you want to be perceived as in this universe, they keep focusing on you as that person,
mm,
helping you manifest quicker into that identity.
mm.
Right? So
Yeah.
I, in my mind, was like, oh, she's going to be upset. The hour is already, like, she's going to start it without me. Who knows what response I'm going to get because of what I've seen before, not even realizing that I'm also doing that. Right.
Right.
So this is like, it's actually really amazing that it worked out this way,
Yeah.
because it allows us to have these realizations. And this is where everybody has to stay on track no matter what,
Yeah.
trusting the process, staying in the knowing that everything is always working out, because it is. This is what
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about anyways, and now it just flowed right into it with an example live right in your face
Yeah. Yeah.
of how this
Exactly.
shit works, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And that was what we were going to talk about. I had a message that came through, and it was like, basically the essence of the question was, can I manifest for somebody else? And so my response, kind of quick, cut and dry, was like, it's my belief system. At least I need to preface everything that we say now with, this is my belief system, that you can help amplify somebody else's manifestation, but they have to want it too, right? But the way that I choose to look at it, if and when I'm going to try to manifest for somebody else, find a way that you can look at it that the thing that you're manifesting for them benefits your reality, right? Like, so for example, I've seen tons of times in different groups, like I want to manifest this better job for my husband, for example, right? And so they're looking at it like, how can I manifest for him? And then my response is always, okay, but you guys are a couple. His reality affects your reality, so focus on how it betters your reality, because a promotion obviously would mean, a more prestigious role. It would mean hopefully some kind of raise. It would also mean some kind of celebration on his end, which of course, as we know, right, energy is contagious. So if he's in a better place because he's more proud of himself for getting this, promotion, then he's going to be by default better to you, which is going to rub, and your energy is going to improve. And so that was kind of my response to her, was that you want to think about it in terms of how it benefits you personally in your reality, to kind of supercharge their manifestation, right?
Yeah, it's so many like we could go left, right, everything. We're having these realizations of how we're showing up for one another.
Right.
Right. But
Yeah.
ultimately, it's each one of our dominant thought process.
Right.
Period. So in a way, people don't have free will in your reality. If we're
Yeah.
in
You
our
can
full
argue that.
power, because it's our story that we're creating, right?
Right.
So even if I wanted to show up a certain way for you, if you're holding me trapped to a certain identity in your mind,
Mm.
no matter what I do, I have to show up as that identity.
In my reality, yes.
Right. So if
Not
you're
necessarily for somebody else, but for
right,
me. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So if you're just choosing a different version of the person and you stay focused on that, they have to show up that way, no matter what it is. Whether it's true or false or good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's our dominant thought process that controls everything. I had a certain belief about you because of how you showed up for me prior to now, right? Both of us. So therefore, today we both showed up in that way.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's funny because
There's
as you were saying that before, I was like, man, and I didn't even really, but there was obviously a part of me, and more dominant than I thought, that expected at least to have a time delay on being able to hit go live or whatever. So I'm not doing you any favors by holding that idea, belief.
right.
And then there's obviously, like you were saying, 9 to 5, like there's something in your subconscious that is putting me aligned with making you be at a certain time. And it's funny because when we decided to do this series, we had discussed, okay, this is what we're going to do. We just, the first one was just like, let's just Tuesday at 10 or whatever it was is what worked at that week. And then I was like, man, that was so good. Let's try to make it a weekly thing. We were like, yes. And I was like, okay, but from what I know about, building businesses and building audiences and building reputations and things like that, it's very beneficial and more efficient use of your time, more effective use of your time, to commit to showing up at the same time, like so that eventually people will come to expect you to be live. And they will, what I have noticed in the past, when I used to go ages ago, I was going live regularly in my free Facebook group, like when I was first getting my business going. And it was like Wednesdays at, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock or something. And what started to happen was the women in my group literally scheduled their day around, or their afternoon around, being able to come live to hang out with me. Because I don't know if you guys agree, but I definitely know that the energy of being in somebody's live energy is different than watching the replay. So people would like schedule it into their evening, and some girls were actually starting to call it date night. It was so funny. So I said to Teresa, like, from what I have experienced in the past in my own business, if you're going to do something like this, it's most beneficial to make it a regular occurrence where people know and expect, and they know Tuesday at 11. They don't need to be checking their emails for where or when or whatever. They just know this is when they're going to be, right? And we agreed we agreed on a time and a day that made the most sense for us, and we've been sticking to that. But now I'm sure everybody can see how that would trigger a unfavorable memory and belief system in Teresa to show up and be somewhere at a certain time. And because it's she and I'm the one that said it, now I'm the her subconscious has pegged me as the
like an authoritative figure.
Yeah, which
literally
is like,
when you're talking right now, I'm not even gonna lie, like I'm cringing. And I don't even mean to, like, I don't even really feel that towards you, but like, yeah, that's how it's like, you're like, this time and at this time, and it has to be. And it's not really that I even have these true feelings towards you, but because of all the beliefs that have been, everything that I have gone through, all my life experience added on top of each other. The authoritative thing is just like, like, Yeah. Yeah. But I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
When we were in the group that we were in, every time the person went live, man, I was looking forward to it. And I was
Yeah.
so, no matter what, I had an earbud in my ear, no matter what I was doing, whether I was at home, whether I was working, bringing back patients, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to hear what she's saying. And this is the time that she's coming on, and I'm making it happen no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
So I agree with you in that aspect, but this is real life. This is raw. This is stuff that I'm working through right now. And that also affects my business too. Let's just be upfront. As soon as I schedule somebody, I'm like, freedom gone. I have to show up on this day at this time. And don't get me wrong, I love this work. I love what I do because I genuinely care for people. I genuinely want to help them because of my own experience. And when we're done with sessions, I mean, all they're doing is fucking thanking me. They appreciate me all the time. Thank you for being in my life. Like, I'm so grateful for you, X, Y, and Z. But this is,
Yeah. Yeah. And I
this
know
is
all
real
that
and
to be
raw. I
true.
got to work through
No,
this.
1000%. But I know that to be true for sure because I mean, like we've been saying, Teresa and I have been friends for a long time now. We've come into our gifts together. Like I fully, I have children now, actually. Woo.
I know, me too, because this is a huge breakthrough for me right now.
Yeah.
Huge.
1000%. And I encourage everybody to contact Teresa to have a session with her because she is like,
thank you.
I have had other Reiki sessions. I have had other healing sessions. I have had but nothing. I don't know. I mean, this girl is an angel from heaven. I'm telling you right now, you need to work with her. Like 1,000,000%. You are welcome because you 1000% deserve it. So I can speak from experience. And I know that even though the scheduling piece of it is tough for you, I know that once you're in the session, you do give it 1000% of your attention and energy. And the sessions usually go, I mean, at least mine have gone way longer than theirs. I mean, we also have an existing relationship. So you know more of my,
it's never less than 2.5 hours.
No.
It's like, no, even if I try, because I can't, like, I just, and I've gone to an actual shaman and had a Reiki done, had a cord cutting, everything. And as soon as we were done, it was like, all right, here, I'm going to record this little quick voice message for you. Got to go. Bye. Next client's coming. I'm like, wait, so you just leave me in the wind? Like, what do I do next? Where do I go? So I don't like that. I hate it. I'm not just trying to bring you in, give you a session, make you feel great right there, and then just leave you with no guidance or no tools to keep working on yourself after we're done. Like, you got me 100%, but it's just like, it
takes time.
Me just showing up for myself, but it's never less than 2.5 hours. Even when I try, it just doesn't fucking happen.
No, but because you actually, and I love that you do this because I've had other sessions where they don't. You actually go and said, well, I saw this and this is what happened. And then they had me do this and they had me do that. And then I saw this vision. And I mean, you've seen some crazy stuff from my past lives, like just crazy stuff. So, but it's interesting to know because I feel like you're guided to tell me and your other clients certain things that allow us to piece together either right in that moment or way down the road or whatever, piece together what we need to know ultimately for where we're going. And like I said, some of the time it doesn't make sense right there. But like the last one we did when I was still in Nicaragua, it really pieced together a lot of things for me. And it made me feel like, at the very least, it made me feel very validated in what was going on and what I was dealing with and why I wasn't where I wanted to be because of all these other things that you like. It was so great. So, and you guys need to see her, but even still, like this is how strong your subconscious is because I have seen it myself. Teresa can say she loves what she does, but the second that something is scheduled, between when it's scheduled and when it actually starts, she has a lot of resistance to actually showing up for the thing. And I used to have a similar thing too, as I would sabotage in all kinds of ways, even be like, I would have a goal to have a discovery call with somebody, or I would have this like idea of this live I want to do, but then I would sabotage it in all kinds of ways. So I couldn't show up the way that I wanted to. And then because I had sabotage, it's like, okay, well, now this has happened. So now I can't show up anyway. But so those are all just cycles of keeping yourself stuck. And this is the subconscious keeping you stuck, because you have to understand the subconscious and your ego and all of that doesn't know what's coming next. And this is why entrepreneurship especially is so frustrating, because what your subconscious mind wants, what your ego wants, is familiarity. It wants to know what's coming next, right? It wants to, very much like, this is why humans are very much like routines and patterns and things like this, because it's predictable, and predictability is safety to your ego and to your subconscious and all of that. But the problem is with entrepreneurship, pretty much everything you do is new, which means everything you do is unknown, which really freaks and which is, you guys are seeing this with Teresa today. Like, her subconscious is like freaking out, because what's ultimately happening is, if I show up live regularly, I'm going to become known. If I become known, my success is going to increase. I don't know what that looks like. So I'm freaking out, and I'm going to sabotage being able to show up regularly, because then I can't be as successful as I want to be. So then I can stay where I am. You see what, and this is why the work that we're talking about is so important, because if you don't get that in check and reprogram it, you're going to continue to have the same, not just Teresa, but everybody is going to continue to have the same experience over and over and over and over and over again. And you're never going to get out of Groundhog Day, but you're going to continue to be frustrated that it's not happening for you.
Yep. That's
so,
where we have to go.
Exactly.
We can't, I mean, I'm not going to say we can't. Obviously, the subliminals, they are going to work. It's going to hit stuff that we don't even know that was in there, which is amazing, so that we don't have to sit there and pinpoint every single thing. Yes. Okay, why this? No, it's already shifting. Like, that's one thing. Danielle has the subliminals. You could personalize them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a bunch on YouTube, obviously, but it's not personalized to your specific, issues or stuff that you're going through. It may be like an umbrella, but I would rather have it on point. This is exactly what I want to work on right now,
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm all about subliminals 100,000,000%.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, during the day or when you're not listening, right? Every single thing that we're going through is an opportunity for us to sit down. Where is it not working out? Why is it not working out? It's like brain dump exercises all the time, but this is how we move through. Yeah. You have to, or else, like you said, we're just stuck in cycles. Yeah. Me is like, okay, well, I have all this knowledge. I have all of this talent. Where's the clients at? Well, I'm blocking the shit out of them, trying to keep myself safe, or keep myself from experiencing things that I didn't like previously that did make my skin cringe, because that whole authoritative thing in the medical field, and so-and-so's wife is coming in today, be extra nice. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to treat them any different than anybody else. Don't get me wrong. I'm kind to everyone. I treat everybody with the same respect. That was just a big thing for me that I didn't like. And I always felt like I was somewhat belittled because I didn't have the degree. Right. Yet we're on the same level. Understand? So here we go again. We're digging, we're going even deeper right now. Yeah. How many times have I been undermined in my life? Yeah. How many times have people not looked at me on, the same level of them, or given me the same respect because I didn't have this degree? This is I keep bringing it up, right? It's a huge deal to me. I have to get this out. I have to see this, and I have to reprogram it. Right. But that's part of my self-concept that I'm working on right now. Right. And that's a must in this work, is your self-concept. Okay. We have to know who we are 100%, not waver in that. That's where I'm not going to say I'm at completely, because obviously there's some stuff coming up right here, but where I am today is nowhere where I was even 6 months ago. I 100,000,000% know that when I'm in somebody's life, that I'm an absolute blessing. I know that I will leave you better than how I found you. 100,000,000%.
Mhm.
Before I was like, oh yeah, well, thank you. You think I'm cool. You think I'm smart. Oh yeah. But, in the back of my mind, I didn't really believe these things.
Mhm.
Now the point that I'm at today is I know 100%. So now it's just working through the things that are holding me trapped from being able to be seen,
Yeah.
from being able to bring in the clients that are meant for me and not blocking my success, my abundance, my manifestations, my desires, everything,
Right.
everything in general.
Right. Right. Because I mean, that's the basis of it. If we don't put ourselves out where people can see us, then they can't find us. Like I say to my clients, I'm like, look, I'm all on them about being seen and getting out and, in front of the, going live and stuff, which I know is nerve wracking, but because ultimately it's the fear of judgment, right? But it's like, look, man, like people can't buy things they don't know exist. so,
Right.
so if you are trying to build a business, you need to be seen. But what's funny is I noticed a cycle in myself several months ago that I will share really quick because it's relevant, right? Like I have a really bad cancel, clear, delete. I have had in the past a cycle of belief systems that I need to be busy and working constantly. If I'm not at my computer, I am not doing enough to bring in clients, income, money, whatever. Okay. So I caught myself several months ago. We were still living in Nicaragua. One of the things that I have been working towards creating in my life for ages now, and Teresa, you'll remember me saying, is I want to create a lifestyle where I'm working when I want to, and I get to spend time with my son and my husband and I get to prioritize my family and put my business around my family rather than what I had been doing based on my belief systems around needing to earn my worth and entrepreneurship is hard and blah, 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 which was kind of fitting my family into pockets where I wasn't working, which is not good. It got me an ultimatum actually in 2020. So that was not fun. But anyway, so I had been trying, you remember that too.
I remember it clearly.
I remember, oh my God. Anyway, whatever. Well, so I had been, actively affirming and manifesting and trying to shift my belief systems and my self-concept around being a really good wife and mother and just enjoying my own life too. Cause ultimately, do I want to be glued to my computer? No, that's not, I was living on vacation basically, but I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy it because I felt like I wasn't worthy of it because I wasn't working hard enough. Okay. So anyway, so there was one day where I had been sitting with Dominic watching some YouTube educator, Mr. DeMeo guy he likes. And then he wanted me to watch a second one. And I said, I can't, I have things to do. I got to get up. And then I stopped as I was getting up off the bed. I stopped and I was like, wait a minute. Not the whole, but a good majority of the reason that I want to work for myself is so that I can sit here and watch fucking YouTube videos with my son if that's what he wants to do. If that's how he wants to spend time with me, or play with the, the ball on the, bounce the ball around or to go for a walk or like whatever, right? Like that is one of the reasons why I want to create the lifestyle that I want. And I thought, well, what the hell is the rush? Like whatever it is that I am going to do, I can do later. And when I really thought about it, I actually didn't have anything that needed to get done right then. I just felt like I needed to be busy. Right. And then so I stopped myself. I said, whoa, look at me. I'm actively blocking. The universe is giving me what I have said I wanted, and I'm actively blocking it and resisting it by trying to get up and leave the situation that I have manifested into existence, which is being able to sit and spend time with my son when he wants to spend time with me. And I'm trying to sabotage that right now. So I stopped myself and I said, nope. I'm going to sit here and we're going to watch this show and we're going to have a great conversation about it afterwards. And whatever it is that I think is like so busy, I can deal with it later. And like I said, I didn't even have anything that needed to get done right that second. Because I wasn't busy, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. So it's just interesting, right? When you're not aware of these things, I would have gotten up, gone to my computer, done all kinds of busy work, that probably wouldn't have gotten me anywhere. And I would have missed out on time with my son. And I would have, it would have added to my increasing frustration that look how hard I'm working and I'm not, where I want to be yet. It's like, well, because you don't have a plan, you're just trying to stay busy and you're not allowing yourself to actually enjoy what it is that you've created. And I thought it was just so interesting because,
Right.
you're catching yourself right in the moment.
Yeah. And see, and I didn't realize that I was doing the same thing until I was listening to a Rampage. And in the Rampage, she said, the more I relax, the more I receive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? Wait a minute. Say it again. Let me hear that again. The more I relax, the more I receive. Oh my gosh. And you've even seen, somebody that I follow where she had posted about, she's the, how it is to be a lazy bitch millionaire.
Yeah.
Literally. Like
Yeah.
she's like, I'm not doing shit, just enjoying myself moment to moment, because she's reprogrammed her subconscious that all of her riches come to her, all of her manifestations come true.
Mm-hmm.
The less that she does,
Mm-hmm.
the more she does, she's blocking herself.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that simple switch. Once we have that awareness, hell yeah. Now I'm on repeat. The more I relax, the more I receive.
Yeah.
But
no, I
mean,
love that.
Ultimately though, too, think about that. Like when you got into that state where you're like, I have to do this, I have to do that, you're really not getting shit done anyways. Your fucking nervous system is so out of whack. You end up with anxiety. You end up running around like a chicken without a head. What really gets done when you're in that state?
Well, and anything that does get done in that state has that energy infused into it, right?
Exactly.
So then I'm right back, and anybody else doing it too, you're right back to, remember, I think it was last week when we were talking about the message that Teresa had first channeled for me that was like, look, like your energy is like, you're pushing away everybody that would otherwise be interested in speaking to you about anything. You're repelling them. Your energy is repelling everybody because and I can see that, right? Like it was infused into everything. So that's why it's so important. I mean, there's many things that are important in entrepreneurship, but one of them is to be very intentional and deliberate with what you're doing. And if you don't have, intentions and plans, like you're better off not doing anything. And like Teresa saying, like if you can at the same time reprogram your subconscious to believe that the more you relax, the more you receive, the better. And I will tell you, that's not, I mean, yes, I've been affirming that. It's not something that I'm like 1000% focused on, but I am focused on creating more peace in my life. I am focused on being intentional and deliberate. And if at all, something that I've started doing, two things. One, if I'm sitting here at my desk and I feel like I need to be doing something, I stop. And I'm like, no, like if I'm like, I need to get XYZ done, I'm like, no, take a break, go have a cup of tea, like go for a walk, go outside, go stand in the sun for a minute, like take a break. And if I'm doing other things and I get this, like, it doesn't really happen anymore, but it did used to happen a lot where I'm like, I need to do more in my business. I intentionally do something opposite because I am not going to give in to my nervous system telling me
that's what I was just going to say right now.
Yeah.
That is, and this is something that wasn't talked about in all the previous programs that I was in. I don't know about you, was nervous system regulation.
Yeah. No.
When we have anxiety, when we have depression, when we have thoughts on repeat that we cannot, like, why can't I get this one thing out of my head or this person out of my head? It's because our nervous system is out of control. Mm-hmm. So just like you said, you would do the complete opposite, not even knowing, but our subconscious knows all things, right? It has this intelligence inside of it. It knew if you went and did the opposite thing, it's stopping that loop that we get stuck on, this energetic loop, right? It's like a record that's just playing over and over and over, creating the same shit. By doing that exact opposite, you cut that loop. You stopped it right there in its tracks, and you calm your nervous system down. It's like it's a reset. Yeah. Right. That's what your subconscious led you to do each time, not even knowing. Yeah. But this is so important, right? This is a energetic, magnetic universe. Whatever state we're in energetically, whatever frequency we're on, if we're creating in that state, right? You're making this program in this state, all you're going to do is create more more
Mhm.
chaos. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna, you're gonna attract all these people that are on this same, like,
Yeah.
we have to be conscious of this. Where are you creating from today? Where is your vibration today? Where is your frequency today? Everything you're doing in this day
Mhm.
is going to be according to that exact thing,
Yeah.
right? We're magnetizing things to us. If you're like high in anxiety, going crazy, all you're doing is bringing more of it to you. It's a magnet. You're sucking it in. You are a magnet,
Yeah.
right? Like I said, whatever state we're in, we're either repelling or we're bringing to us with peace, with grace and ease, or through chaos, through working harder. It's our choice.
Yeah.
Where are we at with these things?
Yeah.
But nervous system control is huge, because you could be doing all of this work, raising your vibration, right? Feeling amazing. Then all of a sudden that one thought comes in, takes you hold on to it instead of
Mhm.
being an observer. You hold on to it in that moment. That thought goes to another thought, to another thought, and then you're spiraling out of
Yeah.
control. Then your energetic state, you went from this high vibration, boom, you just dropped everything back down again.
Yeah.
And you're back to feeling like shit.
Yeah. That's why you can't give into it. You can't.
You
And,
cannot.
this is why also, and this whole energy, thing, I have noticed over the years, when I reflect back on, okay, what, launches and offers and what went well and what didn't and it comes down to where I was at the time and what I believe to be true. Right. Like, for example, when I finally did get my business off the ground after I had to go back to a 9-to-5 job because I was not able to get my business off the ground initially, I was so dead fucking set on it happening. I was dead set on being able to leave that job at the end of the contract. I knew it was going to work. I knew it had to happen. And it was like, I, up to that point, had never been so sure of anything in my entire life. Like, I just knew that it was going to happen. And sure enough, it did. And easily and effortlessly. And at that point, at the beginning of getting all of the things ready to do this launch, to open this offer,
I'm still here, but I'm trying to turn on the light real quick.
when I was getting prepared to get everything ready, when I was like putting my launch together of my, what is now my high level program, I was still having to kind of work in secrecy, because at that point I was still on this agreement with my husband that my business was kind of on the back burner because I needed to focus on my family, because I had been going about it the wrong way, right? Like this, I was putting the wrong energy into it, which of course, like I said, was repelling, which is why I had to go to work to begin with and blah, blah, blah. So up until then, the energy that I had been operating from was the energy I was putting into what I was doing. And that's why I had to go back to work. But on the flip side of that, when I was working and, being very deliberate and intentional with the hours that I was spending on my business very early in the morning, like I'm talking, I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, working on my business for a couple of hours and then going to work. So I have way less time, because before that I had all day, every day to do whatever I wanted, because I wasn't setting boundaries with my time, which was part of the problem, which, led to my relationship being, on the rocks, right? Which is fair enough. If you put everything you have into your business, trying to get it off the ground and basically ignore everybody else, of course that's gonna happen, right? But but I knew it was going to work when I finally did get everything going the right way. So that same energy I have brought to my work since then, right? But so this is one of the reasons why this intentionality and deliberate, boundary setting and stuff is something. When we got home from Nicaragua, I was like dead. And I think I've even said this before. I was dead set on my business hours being only while my son is at school. Only. I was like, I'm not working evenings. I'm not working weekends. I'm not working pro D days. I'm not doing any of that. And it's funny because he's been back at school now for about, I don't know, like 4 weeks, I guess. And he's had some snow days in there, and he had a sick day once. So like those days were kind of iffy for me, because I was like, I don't know how I should play this, because it's like he's home, but he's supposed to be at school. So this is like, so we kind of played it by ear a little bit. But what I've noticed since we've been back and since he's been back at school is I'm getting the same amount of work, if not more, done in way less time. And I feel way better about it. My energy is way better. My vibration is way better. The quality of things that I'm creating is way better. And my self-concept is that I'm deliberate, I'm intentional, I'm focused, I'm consistent. But not in the masculine energy sense, but in the like, I value my future self so much that I want to set up, Danielle this evening for success by making sure that I feel good about the work I'm doing during the day, so that when I do close my computer for the day, or on Thursdays when I close it for the weekend, because I take Fridays off too to spend with my husband, because I also want to make sure that that is a huge focus of my time, is my family and my husband, and that we have time, just the two of us, while my son's at school on Fridays, to spend time together. I want to make sure that when I close my computer at the end of the day or on Thursday for the weekend, that I feel good about what I put in. So then I have to think about, okay, well, what kind of energy do I want to bring into the work that I'm doing? How do I want to set up my week? How do I want to prioritize these things? And, there is some masculine energy stuff, because you do have to, at least in the things that I want to accomplish, I need to work backwards from the end goal and really keep that in mind. But again, when you're focusing on the end goal, whether it's building a business or, releasing unwanted weight or building a relationship or whatever it is, when you're focused on what you want to create and you build your self-concept to be a match for that outcome, when you're working backwards, you're always able to very vividly consider that future version of yourself and set her up for success, right? Because you want to make decisions and you want to make sure that your mindset and that your beliefs are aligned with what she believes to be true, so that you're always moving closer and closer and closer to that version of yourself.
Would you say that since you've been back, do you feel happier? Do you feel like you have more joy in your life?
1
You feel more
million%.
relaxed?
Yeah.
Right.
1
Like,
million
my
percent.
point of this is,
Yeah.
I've seen, okay, there is a robotic affirmations, right? You could affirm all day long or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've also learned that the subconscious is so intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
We literally can script one time and it knows exactly what you want. You don't have to stay focused on it per se.
Right.
Your job is to focus on your joy
Mm-hmm.
from moment to moment. So that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to point out right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying how much smoother everything is, everything's just working out. You're getting more stuff done with less time, right? The more you relax, the more you receive. The
Yeah.
more we follow our joy from moment to moment, and this is true, right? After a Reiki session, you're on this high because
Yeah.
I've just infused you with the purest form, the highest vibration, love and light right through you, right?
Yeah.
So you're on this high. Think about what happens in that moment when you're on this high vibration. I literally, me and my clients will go back and forth, like, we'll say, wow, wow, fucking wow is what they get to. Wow, fucking wow. I cannot
Yeah.
believe, like, this has just happened. That happened. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're not doing the work, it lasts 1 week, 2 weeks. You got to keep that vibration up. But the point
Mm-hmm.
being is, when we're in this higher vibration, everything just works out. It's
Yeah.
easy. You don't have to always have this higher vibration or at all to manifest. You can keep doing your robotic affirming over and over. But when you follow your joy from moment to moment, not only are you enjoying the journey, but everything becomes fucking easy. I always say
Yeah.
it becomes magical. Like,
Yes,
the
it does.
blessings, they just appear out of nowhere. Everything just starts falling into place so fucking easy.
Yeah.
There's no resistance.
Yeah, it does. Well, and you know
Nothing.
what? Part of it is because I'm so deliberate and intentional. The hours that I'm working, and the hours I'm spending with my family is when I'm spending with my family. And even if I don't get done in that day, like let's say I had 6 things on my to-do list and I only got 4 of them done or whatever, when I close my computer, I say to myself, okay, well, I allow that to be enough for today. Obviously, and I'm really, something I've been doing for a long time, but even more intentionally and deliberately lately, is I know that the universe and I are working together. So I know that what I did get done or where I was guided or whatever is exactly what needed to get done in that day. That's the energy that I needed to put into that thing. And I let it be enough. And then I close my computer. I shut it all down. I walk out, and then I'm focused and I'm present. This is huge. Actually, I should have said this earlier. Present in my work. And then I close it down and I'm present with my family. And I'm not trying to blur the lines between this. And I'm not thinking like, oh, I should be doing that, or I could be using this time better. It's like, no, I pick up my son from school. Now we're on family time. And even if, and this was very hard for me the first couple of weeks, even if in the evening, let's say the two guys, they go out for a bike ride or something and I'm home by myself, and it would be very easy for me to sneak into my office and get more done if I wanted to, which is what I would have done before. I say, no, I'm going to start dinner early. I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to listen to music and dance around in my kitchen. I'm going to whatever. I'm going to do something that makes me happy. Like Teresa's saying, follow your joy. And that is something that she pointed out to me. And I didn't realize this in our last Reiki session she did for me. She was like, I can see that you are not doing anything that brings you joy at all. At all. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not. Because at that point I was in full like move mode. I'm trying to get business things done. I'm trying to prepare for my family to come to visit. I'm trying to prepare for our move back home. And I was excited about all of these things, but at the same time, like I was not doing anything. Like I wasn't painting. I wasn't spending really any time at the beach. I wasn't going for walks. I wasn't listening to music, nothing.
So it's like operating from an empty cup.
Totally.
Right. Yeah. But when we talk about how the universe works, your field, right, that is the magnet that's pulling all your good into you and making it work. It was dead. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. And you're like, well, how come this isn't working? How come that isn't working? And nothing's coming in. And like, man, I'm not even getting compliments from people, you know?
Yeah.
My hair is beautiful today and nobody's saying anything because your field is dead.
Yeah.
Your energetic field, your life force is depleted.
Yeah.
So not only can you not operate from that, obviously you are, but you're going to be dragging ass and you're just going to be like, it's just not enjoying life.
Yeah.
But then your feelers that bring in all your good to you, they're non-existent.
Right.
Non-existent.
Right. And it's funny how you say like what I have noticed is that, I mean, I don't have the gift of seeing auras and energetic fields and all. Some people can, I can't. But what I have noticed is people are more magnetized to me. Like they look a little bit longer.
That's like, what I'm saying.
Even my husband, like, it's so funny. Like I don't know. He just started looking at me differently, and he's just like looks at me, and I'm just like, and then he says something
because of the energy.
Yes, and then he says something
that high vibration. You're emitting a different frequency, and whether people understand it or not, they're attracted to it. Like it's like, it's like I always say, you know, like the fly that light. Where the fly they go in, they're like, oh, that light is so beautiful. It doesn't matter if it's going to kill me or not. Like they're going straight to their death, but they can't help it because that energy of that light is so magnetizing for them. They're just like tunnel vision. Right. And that's literally how it becomes, like you're saying, right? So we're not forcing, here we go. We're not forcing that husband to change in the physical because he's not going to fucking listen. Right? He's going to keep doing whatever he wants to be doing according to his programming. But when we shift our own energy, everything in our reality shifts according to that new frequency, that new energetic state that we embody.
Right.
And that's the point. Embodying a new energetic state that is in alignment with all of your dreams and desires. And then your life just becomes magical.
Right.
And you're enjoying it. You're present. Everything feels good. It's just automatic. Everything just becomes automatic.
Yeah.
The struggle is
that's
gone.
it. You're not forcing anything, and it and then everything good that happens feels that much better. So then I mean, I will say for me personally too, like I obviously went through a huge shift and I moved home, and I'm like, my gratitude has like exponentially, grown for where I am and who I am and what I've been through and all the things. But I'm not forcing anything. I notice that because I'm spending more time appreciating what I already have, the things I already have get better. And then I'm attracting more good things. And it's funny, the first time I noticed it, I had noticed kind of a pattern in my husband. He would look at me like a certain way, and then he would say something goofy, and I'm like, why don't you just tell me how beautiful I look or something like that? And he's like, yeah, and he'd walk away. But you can tell by the way that they, I don't know if you probably have noticed this too. The way somebody looks at you, you can, it maybe, I don't know if it's intuitive or if it's energetics or what it is, but I can tell when you get looked at a certain way, you know
Oh
what's
yeah.
going through their mind.
I gave one of my friends a Reiki session, right? And she was just like on cloud nine when we were done. And obviously I get the energy's coming through me. So it's like I'm getting a Reiki session too.
Right.
And then we needed to go to the store. And I told her, I was like, I want you to pay attention. I said, every time I'm in a high vibration, it doesn't matter if I have makeup on. It doesn't matter if I'm looking my best. It doesn't matter. Watch people's faces, especially men. I'm like, watch how they look at us right now when we're in the store. I kid you not. I kid you not. Every single one of them was like mesmerized.
Yeah.
Just, and if they didn't say like, oh my God, you're beautiful, their face said it. Like they were literally complimenting us out loud. Plus it was written all over their face.
Yeah.
And she was like, what the hell? And I was like, hey, I didn't make up the rules here, but this is how it works.
Yeah.
You know, if your energy is on point, up high, people feel it. I always say energy is contagious.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
What we're putting out, we're getting back, and you can clearly see that. Pay attention on the days that you're feeling good. Pay attention to how everybody's responding to you.
Yeah. And
I mean, you could get them to do stuff for you that they wouldn't even do on a normal day, you know?
Exactly. And this same energy, yes. And this same energy goes into everything that you do, right? Which is why specifically when I'm talking to my clients who are building their businesses and stuff, I was like, look, the energy you put into your business is the energy that will be permeated throughout, right? So when you believe in, I mean, it comes down to beliefs and self-concept again, right? When you believe that you are going to be successful no matter what, it's going to happen for you, right? Like Teresa and I are at a place now. I mean, we've had years of ups and downs and twists and turns and doubt and all this, but we're at a point, both of us now, where look, it might be a stop and go. It might be a slow start. We might have whatever might happen, but I don't need convincing that where I want to go, and Teresa does not need convincing that where she wants to go is where we're headed. And that I think is one of the reasons why the resistance comes up, because there's no doubt. So the resistance is stepping in going, are you sure? Like I'm trying to feed you some things that maybe are going to take you back down off the pedestal, because still to your ego, even though you've decided what the future looks like and you know it's safe and it's all good and everything, your ego still doesn't believe you, right? Your ego is going to try to keep you small, right? So that's why, again, you want to affirm, you know, that you're going where you want, and it's safe to go there. It's safe to have what you want. It's safe to be seen. It's safe to be known. Like those are affirmations I've been using for a long time, because I had serious fears of being seen and known, especially because nobody in my family is entrepreneurial at all. Right.
Right.
And obviously, you know, these mediums we have now, social media, going live, all of this stuff, like that wasn't available even if my parents had been entrepreneurial. You know, they didn't have the same opportunities we have now. So it still wouldn't have been the same, because the like virality now, like going, I remember one time, oh my God, do you remember, Teresa, that one summer when I did that hair TikTok? There was the shrink. Okay,
yeah.
So obviously you guys know I have, right? I have crazy curly hair, and there was this shrinkage challenge. I'm like, okay, well, I could do this, like no problem. And I had my hair all big and I dunked into the pool. And then this video went viral. Like I went from, I literally, I posted the video, I closed my phone, I opened it, and there was like, I don't even know, like 50,000 views. Open it again, there's like 70,000. Open it again, it's like 100,000. I was like, holy shit. And people were saying some nasty things too, which I couldn't even believe, because I was like, are you fucking serious? But that, like we had decided at that time, was like a taste of what it's like to be well known. And then I didn't really do anything for a while after that, because it freaked me out. Like I didn't realize that at the time, but now hindsight is 2020, right? So when you look back, it's like, oh, because I could have maximized, I could have capitalized on that.
Oh yeah.
And be way further along right now, but I didn't, because I closed down and I was like, oh, this is scary a little bit. I don't know. There's a lot of opinions out there.
Yeah. But
Okay.
that's it was yourself. No matter how you look at it, though, too, it was your self concept being reflected back to you as well.
Oh, totally.
You know,
Totally.
we have to get rid of those. Like, I'm constantly repeating that everybody who comes across me absolutely loves me. They adore me. I don't have any haters. I don't have anybody, you know, and we can create this space and have it be exactly like that by what we're thinking, by what we're speaking, and the story that we are writing for ourselves, right?
Right.
Just the reality that we're choosing, the version of ourselves, the new, just like how we started talking about everybody else in our reality. What version are we choosing of them to show up for us? And what version are we choosing of ourselves to show up for other people? How do they look at us? How do they see us? How do they talk to you? Do they respect you? Right? I'm speaking into existence that everybody in my reality respects and loves me. Everybody is supportive of me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because just like you, I don't have anybody else. I don't have anybody in my family that has a business that I can go to, that I can speak to, that can help me in any kind of way. This is me, myself, and I am figuring shit out on my own, you know, having that desire and working through everything. And then I'm the teacher. I'm the one. And it's cool. That's fine. You know what I mean? It pissed me off at first.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, fuck it. This is the role that I chose here.
Yeah.
So now I know what I want to pass down, you know, even with my daughter right now. She's 11. We're already talking about, what business do you want? What is your passion? You know, she was on YouTube the other day. She spent 2 hours writing down. She's like, Mom, this is what I need for my LLC. You can open a business. You can have an LLC. It doesn't matter your age, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, now this is the shit that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But when we're talking about, too, like being the version of ourselves that is aligned with who we want to be, like, who do I want to show up as? That boils down to the simplest things, like brushing your teeth before bed or not, right? Like, this comes down to leaving the dishes in the sink or putting them in or like rinsing it and putting the dishwasher right away, or leaving leaving dinner to the last minute, or giving yourself an hour to prep properly, or how you organize your desk. Do you leave it all everywhere, or do you clean it up when you're done at the end of the day and have it organized? Like, every single decision. We're doing laundry. Are you going to, when the dryer buzzes, are you going to fold it right away? Or are you going to leave it in the dryer for 3 days so it gets wrinkled again? Right? Like, who do you want to be? It's very simple things. Every single day, you need to be asking yourself everything that you do. How am I showing up for myself? Am I prioritizing myself, or am I letting myself be treated like a doormat? How am I showing up for me? Like I said, are you brushing your teeth before you go to bed? Or are you just like, who cares? You have to ask yourself, is the version that I want to be, is she taking better care of herself or not? I remember this girl I follow on Facebook. She's a couple of years ago. She was like, this is going to sound so dumb. But she's like, I was really bad about washing my face and brushing my teeth before I went to bed. And she's like, and then I realized the ideal version of me, the successful version of me, she does those things. And it's not like it's not like it's a huge ask. It's like 5 minutes out of your life. But she's like, but it made a huge difference, because now I'm showing up for myself in a way, and I'm embodying, right? Again, there's that word, embodying the version of me who I want to be, and the version of me that I want to be does those things. So if I want to close the gap between her and me, I got to start doing those things now.
Right. It's not even in before, when we first started out in this, we were more focused on the desire and acting as if those things are already here, but it's really the version of yourself that has these things.
Yes, 100%.
Which puts you in there a lot quicker.
Right.
Okay. It's all about the self-concept. The self-concept. Embodying that version of yourself that has those things. So if you don't know what she looks like, that is your job on this episode, to figure that out. What does the wife look like that the husband is, that ideal version of himself? How does she speak to him?
Mm-hmm.
How's he responding to her? What does she look like? What does she dress like? How's her hair? How's her makeup? Does she wear makeup? Does she feel good about herself? Does everybody respect her? Does he respect her? Is he giving you princess queen treatment? Does he see you as a goddess?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can he not keep his hands off of you? What
Right.
is it? Like
But
that that ideal version of yourself that has these things that you
yeah,
want. What does she look like? If you don't even know what she looks like, how she talks, and none of that stuff, then how are you ever going to get there?
exactly. Like what are her routines? How does she is she skipping lunch because she's too busy, or is she prioritizing eating? Is she drinking enough water or not? Does she drink coffee for breakfast? Does she drink tea? Is she drinking, lemon water? Is she skipping it altogether? Like, what does that look like? Because like Teresa's saying, you need to embody that version. And it's not about waiting for other things to change, right? Like if the ideal version of you is treated like a queen, and once she's being treated like a queen, how does she show up? Figure that out and then show up like that now.
And then have fun with it. Add
Yes,
details.
it's a
Like I
game.
I get up in the morning and I say my ass is fat and my waist is snatched. What? Because I can.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like I'm not even gonna lie. Like I didn't have an ass before. I didn't have an ass my whole life until I started like, oh, I have control over these things. Oh, I could do 10 squats every time before I use the restroom and 10 squats after, and it's gonna build my ass. Like what? And now I know that I can speak it into existence.
Yeah.
My ass is fat right now. That's my ideal version. Her ass is fat, her waist is snatched. People respect. I mean, there's more to it, but I'm just trying to throw it
Whatever
out
you
there. It
want.
doesn't have to be so fucking serious, and you literally can have whatever you want.
No, I
I kept
love that.
repeating that my boobs are fuller, right?
Yeah.
I Even my friends like, dude, what the hell's going on with your boobs? I was like, I know. I want them to stop now. Now it's too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh man, it's
But I
so
had
funny
it on
because
repeat. Ass is
yes.
fat, waist is snatch. My boobs are bigger, fuller, lifted. It's all appeared.
Yeah. Anything you want, right? And have fun with it and be like, don't worry about, I think a lot of people get caught up in, oh, well, what's who gonna say about me wanting to have this or that or the next thing, right? And like being cringy or whatever. Like there's a girl that Teresa and I follow on Instagram. She had a reel the other day and she was going through like her day that she got her house or something. And she's like, and this is me being adorable because I'm rich. And I literally laughed out loud because I was like, that is so funny.
Yep.
Some people who are still in their shadow are going to look at that and go, oh my God, what a fucking self-centered bitch. Like who wants to be rich? Not everything is about money, la, la, la. But she's just having fun with her identity. You
No,
know what I
she
mean?
literally said, when she first started posting videos that she would get comments saying, ew, cringe,
Yeah.
cringe. Ew, how
Yeah.
can you even watch her? So she was like, this cringe got me this $1 million house, baby.
Yeah. So, and
And
you're
she
still,
said she had a choice in that moment to either give up
yeah.
and let the fear take over, let their judgment, their projections, right?
Mhm.
Because it's only a fucking projection,
Right.
stop her or
Yeah.
fucking push through it.
Yeah.
Pushing through it made her a millionaire in less than 20 months.
So,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
what would you rather?
that the more I relaxed, the more I received came from her.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, she
So
knows
it
what's
doesn't
going
take
on.
you 10 years. You don't have to fucking work 80 plus hours a week.
Yeah.
No, those are all false belief systems.
Yeah. And oh my God. And now that we know all this and we're experiencing the opposite of what we think has to be true, you see these posts that are like, used to be relatable. Like I would laugh and go, oh yeah, that's so true. You see posts like, I left my 40-hour-a-week job to work 90 hours for myself, and it's like, oh, ha, ha, like how hard I work. And I used to be like, yeah, totally. That's so true. And now I'm just like, ew, why do you want to affirm that to be true? Like, don't
Yeah.
ever affirm that. No,
Yeah.
no. I want to work like a few hours a day on things that light me up. And then I want to close it down and I want to spend the afternoon sitting in the sunshine. I don't know. And like I started this whole episode before you hopped on, I was saying, you can avoid affirmations because everything you say, everything you think, everything you believe is an affirmation.
Yep.
So
I
be
even
careful.
it's a blessing, and like it makes things a little bit tougher when you know all this. Example,
Yeah.
my daughter, when she doesn't behave, the thing that means the most to her is her phone. You're not going to have your phone.
Yeah.
But I caught myself yesterday, like, this is a privilege. You have your phone because it's a privilege. You
Yeah.
need to do what you're supposed to be doing. Then I was like, no, wait, stop. I don't want to put no limiting beliefs. So it's fuck, dude,
Mm.
because you're a parent, you have to parent. But at the same time, I'm so conscious now of programming that
Yeah.
happens to us by our parents from the time that we're little. It's
Yeah.
like, fuck. Okay, so then I had to break it down. I had to explain to her, like, look, this is how it is because we're living in this human 3D thing. I'm your parent.
Right.
There's things that you got to do,
Yeah.
but I don't want to instill this programming of everything's a privilege because technically you can have whatever the fuck you want. So
Yeah.
it's like we're on that fine line, walking that fine line 24/7. But
Oh man. I know. I caught myself
conscious
the other day.
parenting now.
No, and oh my God. And we could do a
It's
whole
tough.
episode on
It's a
that.
little bit tough. I'm not gonna
We could
lie.
do a whole episode on that because
Oh,
the other
it's
day
the
people,
easiest thing we've ever had to do.
yeah, no, yeah. I caught myself the other day. I was saying to my son, like he did, oh no, he said we were in the grocery store and he was helping me pick out some stuff for dinner. And then he's like, can I have whatever? And I was like, well, no, because X, Y, and Z. And what I started to say was, you don't, I forget what the word I used, but
You didn't earn it.
basically,
You didn't deserve it.
yeah, like where I was going was, you haven't been good, so you don't deserve it. And then I was like, no, no, that's not. But again, like you're saying, there's like a fine line because it's like, well, no, I am your parent, and there are things that need to be like there's right ways and wrong ways to do things, and da da da. But it's like, holy, it is.
So you understand exactly what I'm saying right now.
I get it exactly. We could do a whole thing on that, but we'll leave it there for today, man. Well, we went all over the place again, but kind of not, but kind of. It's just but that's why you got to watch the whole episode. Yes, you never know what you're gonna get, like you were saying. Man. Well, we'll leave it there for this week. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, Teresa, for hanging out with me. I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for witnessing us in all of our transparent openness. We appreciate it. It gives the whole process another level of meaning when we know that what we're going through is beneficial to the people watching, right? Like, I hope that you got something out of this and you understand, what the work looks like. When we talk about doing the work, this is what we're talking about. And you can't avoid it. I don't know about Teresa. I'm sure she was in the same place for a while. I tried for so long to avoid the work. Everyone kept saying, you have to do the work, da 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 da. And I was like, no, I don't.
The more you avoid it, nothing in your life works out. I'm just going to say that.
It just gets worse and worse.
Nothing in your life works out when you avoid the work you're supposed to be doing, because this is ultimately leading you to your soul's purpose and your ultimate happiness.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be difficult. Like, you can see what happened at the beginning of our episode here. It's whatever. It's a learning experience. It's an opportunity for growth. That's how we look at it. There's nothing negative. There is no negative. There's no bad things, right? Everything is always happening for us. Everything is always working out for us. And if you adopt that belief, you know that, like Teresa said, if she had not had the experience she had today, she would not have had the shift that she had, because she wouldn't have asked, what is going on here, right? Like, what is happening? This is all unfolding the way it's unfolding for a reason. We decided to do this live podcast show at this time and space because of what we're going to learn in the process. Like, it's all unfolding for us and for everybody watching. Like, whether you're watching now live, you're watching on the replay, maybe this is a recording from 2 years ago by the time you see it, right? It doesn't matter, because there's something here for you. And that's why we were guided to record it. And I'll tell you, it's uncomfortable to record raw things like this and be very open and honest about, like, oh shit, like, I fucked up. I didn't show up. I was late. I this or that. It doesn't feel good. Right. And I can guarantee you, it was not easy for Teresa to show up. I was already going, like, it was already 10 minutes and then I came on, and then another 5 or 10 minutes she came on. Like, but that's what doing the work does. And this is what breaking out of the programming looks like. And this is what overcoming your shit looks like.
Right. So. And yeah. And when you've shifted, when you can show up like that and nothing is affecting you, you're sitting there and you are dissecting it for your own benefit, seeing it as, what am I supposed to be learning here? what can I do differently? Where can I change my belief systems? Whereas before it's like, it's just, you're taking everything personal. You're in defense mode. Why me? Poor me. Nothing ever works out. This always happens. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Stop that shit. Stop.
No.
Everything is always working out for us.
Always.
You cannot avoid this work. Do not sit there and dwell in misery. Feel your emotions. Get your power from whatever lesson is in that emotion, because there's always a lesson in every single emotion that we're going through.
Yeah.
Every breakdown, right? There's something that we're supposed to be learning. Grab that, run with it. Don't sit there dwelling on the misery. Instantly go into a state of gratitude. 2 things is all you need. There has to be at least 2 things in your life that you can be grateful for. That's what you focus on, and shit starts shifting.
Yeah. Amen.
Writing a new story, baby.
That's right. All right.
We'll see you all very much.
Week. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again back here Tuesday, 11 o'clock. See you there.
Have a good day.